Stop. Before you scroll past this, what if the phone in your hand right now is quietly rewiring the part of your brain that makes you you? Not a metaphor, not clickbait, actual neuroscience. Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman put it plainly. The brain is not a fixed organ. It changes based on what we expose it to and what we don't. Here's what nobody is telling you. Modern life, the notifications, the 15-second videos, the endless scroll, isn't just distracting you. It appears to be physically altering your brain's architecture, your attention span, your memory, your ability to feel genuine happiness. And the scary part? Most people won't notice until it's already happened. In this video, we're breaking down 4 ways modern life may be quietly dismantling your brain and what you can actually do about it. Each point builds on the last, so don't skip ahead. You'll miss the part that changes everything. If this sounds like something you needed to hear today, smash that like button, drop a comment, share this with one person who's always on their phone, and subscribe. We're just getting started. Number 1. Your attention span didn't shrink, it was stolen. Here's something that should bother you. In 2000, the average human attention span was around 12 seconds. By 2015, Microsoft research suggested it had dropped to 8. That's less than a goldfish. But here's what that statistic doesn't tell you. It wasn't random erosion. It was engineered. Psychologist B.F. Skinner's theory of variable reward schedules explains it perfectly. The same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive is embedded inside every social media platform. You scroll. Sometimes you get something good. Sometimes you don't. That unpredictability is what keeps you pulling the lever. Every time you chase that dopamine hit, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus, planning, and impulse control, gets a little weaker. Not permanently, but consistently. Think of it like a muscle you've stopped using. The platforms aren't broken. They're working exactly as designed. You're just not the customer. You're the product being optimized. What actually helps? Boredom. Intentional, uncomfortable boredom. 10 minutes without a screen trains your brain to sustain attention again. It sounds too simple to be true, and yet the research keeps pointing there. Number 2. You're not tired. Your brain is flooded. You've probably felt it. That exhausted but wired feeling at midnight. You're not physically tired, but your brain is overloaded. Cognitive scientist Daniel Levitin, in his book The Organized Mind, argues that the modern brain processes roughly 34 gigabytes of information per day. That's 5 times more than people consumed in 1986. And the brain was never built for this. Here's what happens inside. Your hippocampus, the part that converts short-term experiences into long-term memories, needs downtime to consolidate information. When we flood it with constant input, it doesn't get that window. Memories don't form properly. You forget conversations. You read paragraphs and retain nothing. You feel mentally foggy for no obvious reason. This isn't laziness. It appears to be a capacity issue. The brain needs silence the way lungs need air. Not meditation necessarily, just unstructured time. A walk without earbuds. Sitting without a screen. Staring out a window like your grandmother used to. It may feel unproductive. It's actually the opposite. Number 3. Loneliness is literally shrinking your brain. This one is harder to talk about. Neuroscientist John Cacioppo spent decades studying loneliness, and his findings were startling. Chronic loneliness doesn't just feel painful. It triggers the same stress response in your brain as physical danger. Cortisol floods the system. Inflammation rises. And over time, the prefrontal cortex begins to show signs of structural thinning. Modern life has made us more connected and somehow more isolated than any generation before us. We have 400 followers and no one to call at 2 a.m. Here's a real-world example. Researchers at Brigham Young University analyzed 148 studies and found that social isolation carries roughly the same health risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Not social anxiety, not being introverted, actual chronic disconnection. The irony? We're reaching for our phones because we're lonely, and the phone, in many cases, appears to be making it worse, offering the sensation of connection without the substance of it. One genuine conversation. One weekly commitment to be physically present with someone. The research suggests even that small shift can begin to reverse the trend. Number 4. Your sleep is where the real damage happens. Everything above, it gets worse when you're sleep deprived. Matthew Walker, author of Why We Sleep, writes that even one night of poor sleep impairs cognitive performance to a degree comparable to legal intoxication. And yet, the average adult in 2024 sleeps 6.5 hours, down from 8 hours just a century ago. Blue light from screens at night suppresses melatonin production. Melatonin is what signals your brain to begin the cleaning cycle, literally. During deep sleep, your glymphatic system flushes out metabolic waste, including the proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. Skip enough sleep. That waste accumulates. This isn't fear-mongering. The data is consistent across multiple independent studies. What's less certain is whether occasional bad nights cause lasting harm. Most researchers suggest the brain is somewhat resilient to short-term disruption. The concern is the chronic pattern most people have quietly normalized. No screen an hour before bed. A slightly cooler room. Consistent wake times, even on weekends. These aren't biohacking gimmicks. They're just giving your brain the conditions it actually needs to clean itself. So let's be honest with each other for a second. None of this is about demonizing technology. It's about recognizing that the environment around you has changed faster than your brain has had time to adapt. And that gap between what modern life demands and what your brain was built for is where the damage quietly accumulates. The good news? Neuroplasticity is real. Your brain can change. It just needs you to change the inputs. More silence, less scroll, real conversations, actual sleep, simple things that somehow feel radical now. You watch this whole video, that already says something. Your brain wants to focus. It just needs the conditions to do it. If this opened your eyes even a little, please like this video, leave a comment with your biggest takeaway, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Every single one of those actions tells the algorithm this content matters, and it helps more people find it. Your brain isn't broken. It's just been given the wrong environment. Give it a better one.